And turn on the video.
One of our accredited businesses here in New Mexico. Next slide. All right. Okay. All right. There we go. Sorry about that. So, like I said, I am Victoria. I am the marketing coordinator here for BBB in New Mexico, and I'm going to be talking about consumer trust, transparency, and videos online, and how these all tie together. And then I'm going to hand it over to Kimberly, our business owner, who's going to talk about how she's been implementing all of this for her business through TikTok and the success and growth she's experienced there, and how you can be doing the same thing. All right, next slide. So first of all, let's talk about transparency. Transparency is the quality of being done in the open without any secrets. It's the sharing of information. And this has been something that has been super important with consumers lately. Transparency is the third most important factor when it comes to purchase buying decisions for consumers, right after cost and affordability and quality. And in between those lines is what consumers afford to trust. And that's why transparency is super important. And 86% of Americans say that being transparent on social media in particular is essential for brands. So what goes into transparency for consumers? Well, most consumers think that transparency relates to openness, clarity, honesty, and authenticity. A little lower is integrity and communication. So being open and being able to welcome people in is a really excellent way to demonstrate transparency. And that's why video is super important, because it, in the face of COVID, we haven't allowed people into our homes or into our worlds quite as much in person. So video has really allowed that. So that's where you want to start thinking about transparency and what it means as we're going forward. Next slide. All right, so let's talk about consumer trust and transparency. So like I said, transparency is super important for consumers, and that's because it relates to trust. 81% of consumers think about trust when they're buying something, and that's important, and it makes sense because people are spending their money. They want to know that they're giving their money to someone who's going to give them what they're asking for. And so who do people trust online? Well, I know there's been a lot of talk about influencers and paid sponsorships and, putting your product out there with in those forms. Well, actually, only 1 in 5 consumers trust familiar faces like consumers. So what do people actually trust and what do people want to see? Well, people want to see ads and images with real people that are unedited. As you can see on this chart over here, across every generation, about 70% of consumers trust images with actual customers and trust unedited images. And so overall, this is what people want to see. People want authenticity because this is what they relate to. This is what they believe. So it's more likely that they're going to relate to someone who is an average Joe or Jill. Next slide. All right, so video marketing and transparency. So like I said before, transparency is open. It's clear, it allows people to come in and demonstrates. And one of the best ways to do that is with videos. Video allows companies and brands to connect with their audience and interact with them in the next best way to person. So, and consumers love this. So consumers, this instills a sense of trust and transparency that they want more of. And that comes back to video because video is the most transparent form of content in consumers' mind. 67% of consumers think that it is the most transparent. So they think it's the most trustworthy. 52% of consumers say that watching a video makes them feel more confident in purchase buying decisions. So if a consumer is watching you demonstrate something, watching you explain something, see how it works, they're more likely to buy it because they have a little more confidence that it's going to work in their lives and it's going to work for them because they just saw it work for you. And because of that, 94% of consumers have learned more about a product or service through a video. So it is an excellent way to get your messaging, your products out there, to make people aware about them. And this is really important, is to keep these things in mind of what consumers like about transparency, because video content should be audience oriented. Video marketing is really an extension or of content marketing, which is all about the audience. It's about giving them what they want. And people love videos. Next slide. They really, really do. 70% of consumers say that they have shared a brand's video online. And that might be because of the way people relate to video a little more, a little better than regular marketing, than static, than images and text. 95% of the message in a video is retained by the audience compared to 10% in text. That is huge. Think about the amount of information your audience is able to absorb about your products and service when you're actually in front of the camera speaking to them versus just handing them something to read or presenting them something via their newsfeed. And this is how people prefer to learn. 69% of people say that they prefer to learn about a product or service through video. And this is something, this is not a trend that's going away. Although video marketing really did take off during the pandemic, again, because it allowed people to come into your life, without physically being there, people want more videos from brands in 2021, with 85% of people saying they'd like to see more. And this is huge, huge for businesses and excellent, because videos are 12 times more likely to be shared on social media than other forms of content. And this ends up being a huge turnover investment for marketers who say that they have seen about a 72% increase in engagement with videos. Next slide. So what type of videos do people love? So like I said, videos are part of content marketing, and content marketing is all about the audience. It's about what people want. And people want stuff that services them. They want information that enriches their lives. So it makes sense that the most popular type of videos out there are webinars and tutorials. People want to know, want you to demonstrate your expertise, show them how something works, teach them something. That it gives them purpose. Your content should be purpose-driven, and it needs to serve the purpose in your consumers' lives. And so that's really where that type of video comes in on top. And right behind it is going to be explainers. Explainers are animated clips that you tend to see online. So where you're seeing like a quick animation, it's about 90 seconds, maybe on Snapchat or on TikTok or even on Instagram is probably the really common one, where it's maybe an alert, just informational. That's an explainer. These are super, super popular. These tend to be 90 seconds or less, and that really improves performance, because the most popular videos are between 90 seconds and 2 minutes long. So explainers really hit that in-between niche of informational and time. So that's super, super important to keep in mind. The next common type of video that consumers want to see are company stories. And we talk about company stories, consumers just don't want to know your brand history. They don't want to know how you got started. Yes, that's important, but what they're really interested in knowing is what's going on now. Who are you? Who are your employees? Who's answering the phone? Who's packing their order? This is important. So they want to see your work culture. They want to see your employees. They want to know how you're interacting, that you in your daily life at the workplace are living the values that you're preaching on your social media and are actually living it as more of a lifestyle. This is part of that interactive, immersive customer experience that consumers are yearning for. So they want to know the ins and outs, and that's really where that level of transparency, when you're showing people around your workplace, you're allowing them in, that's as clear as it can get. There's no veil there. It's really lifting that. So right after that is going to be customer testimonials. And again, these aren't paid sponsorships. People don't want to hear from influencers or people that you are that are endorsing your products. They want to hear from someone who used your product and was so excited they couldn't help but make a video. They couldn't help but reach out to you and say, oh my gosh, this changed my life, or this was wonderful. This is what people really want. And this is, if you can give that to them, that's going to speak to them. That relates to them. You know, it's one thing if you're an influencer and you're living a certain lifestyle and a product works for you when you're being paid for it. It's another thing if you're just a consumer on the go, if you're a mom, if you're a dog mom, if you're something and something works for your life already. That's going to speak much more powerfully to consumers because it's something they can relate to. And so what features along with these Go types may help video performance? So these are the types of videos that do really well, but what can you do to make your video perform even better? Well, the number one thing you do is add music. Music increases video performance by 81%. The next is going to be voiceovers. So voiceovers are going to allow you to show something, you know, maybe do a demonstration and speak over it. So that's really nice. That's a really useful tool when you're making things. The next one is going to be captions. Captions are super, super good because it's important to note that not everyone listens to videos. A lot of people are watching it, you know, in public or someplace where they have to have sound off. So captions allow your audience to get your message without having to listen. It also increases accessibility. So that's super, super important. And so keeping in mind some of what the top features for videos are, and also what the top videos are, keeping in mind that it's those super short ones. Let's take a look over there on the right-hand side of the TikTok features, just as, you know, so you can start getting that in your mind before I really tell you why TikTok is where you need to be. So TikTok allows videos that are 1 minute or less. So that's in that time range, that really short micro video that you want to make. It also allows you to add video, music and sounds, including charting songs. So that's super important. A lot of times when you go and you look at a trending sound on TikTok, it is also the trending song on Spotify or charting on other platforms. So that kind of speaks to that relationship of it's very trending, it gets you in there. That is super important. It also allows you to add captions, including talk to text. So if you've seen something where it has like the Siri voice, that's the talk to text feature. And again, that is huge because it increases accessibility and allows you to put your message out there without, in multiple ways. And that is super important. And additionally, it allows you to add visual filters, including backgrounds. So if you don't necessarily have a super clean or nice place to work from to create video, there are options there to that are built in that allow that. Next slide. So now that I gave you a little bit of a preview of TikTok, let's launch into what TikTok is. Here are the basics. So TikTok is a short video social media platform that encourages people to make videos and is based on recommendations. So TikTok is a little different than other social media platforms. Usually whenever you open a social media, it goes to your feed. You get to see who you're following. TikTok is different. It opens with an explore page. You get to see videos from everywhere and anywhere. And it's super, super cool. So it encourages a lot of engagement. And one of the ways that it works and encourages that is by making it super user-friendly and super short. So you can record 15-second clips and you can string up to 4 clips together to make a video that's 1 minute long. That's it. That is what you're allowed in TikTok. You have filters, you can add voiceovers, you can add captions, you can add a lot of things to that 1 minute, but that is what you're allowed to create in TikTok. And that is really good because short videos do better on TikTok. The algorithm on TikTok is based on the watch through rate. So that's the percentage that your audience makes it all the way through your video with the hopes, that they watch it all the end, that's going to boost it to the top. It's much easier to do that if your video is shorter. TikTok has recently allowed users to upload footage that is up to 3 minutes long. This is because TikTok has become a platform for people who are wanting to explain things. It's become huge and for a lot of reasons, and people want more information. But they are still encouraging users to focus on those clips and that minute content by encouraging that in their rankings. So again, shorter is better despite that latest feature. Next slide. So TikTok is a true force in content marketing. 90% of users who have TikTok check it daily. That is huge. And a lot of people are on TikTok. We'll get onto that in our next slide. But and when they open that, they're opening it 8 times a day. That's like once, every 3 hours. That's a lot. And when they're doing that throughout the day, they're spending 52 minutes on TikTok. 52 minutes watching video clips that are from 15 seconds to 1 minute long. And if there are any parents of Gen Zs or teenagers out there, I'm sure you can argue that this is an underestimate. But the point is, people spend a lot of time on TikTok, a lot. And that's because it's showing it is the fastest growing social media platform ever. And it was the 7th most used platform just last month in April 2021, ahead of Snapchat, Pinterest, and Twitter. So maybe people are finally getting tired of tweeting, and they're transferring over to TikTok, and it's showing. So I'm really interested in see what these numbers will be in a few months from now. Next slide. So who is using TikTok? I said there's a lot of people on there. That's a lot of people who are on it. You're thinking, if they're on TikTok that much, it must just be teenagers, right? Nope, nope, nope. So 80% of all TikTok users are between 16 and 34. And that's actually hitting 2 super important demographics. You're hitting those Gen Zers who are going up to about 24, 25 this year. And then you're hitting those millennials. You cannot discount Gen Z. Gen Z makes up 41% of the consumer base in the United States, and it makes up 50% of the population globally. And that is huge when you think about the fact that there are 800 million users on TikTok, including 100 million in North America. So whenever you're working on TikTok and you're marketing there, this is actually who you're marketing to. This is your potential consumer base. It's not just who's in your city, in your state, or even in your country. You have the potential to reach 800 million users. And that is important because of those 800 million users, 50% of those people make up the population that you really want to hit. And that's because TikTok has been downloaded more than 2.6 billion times. I mean, that is huge. That is an astronomical number. And the important thing to keep in mind is that TikTok's audience is aging up. So if you want to take a look at this chart over here, yes, a large portion of our audience is going to be between 10 and 29, more than 50, but the remaining makes up about 47%. So 47% of your audience is between 30 and above 50. That's pretty good. And that might be parents who are on TikTok in relationship to their kids, but I mean, they're on TikTok as well. You can reach them. So it's important to keep in mind that TikTok is not just for teenagers and challenges anymore. The audience base is growing and expanding, and it's aging up. Next slide. So now that I've thrown a lot of information at you, I'm going to hand it over to Kimberly Contreras, our business owner, who's going to talk about how she's been implementing TikTok marketing in her business and how it has helped her grow.
Hi guys, I am Kimberly Contreras, and thank you so much for introducing me. So I am the owner of Julianne's Fashion Boutique. I started my boutique back in January 1st, 2019, and I became accredited by the Better Business Bureau in June 2009 or June 19, 2020. And at the beginning, it wasn't really much of like a choice for us to become accredited. You'll see on the next slide why. So next slide. So when I started my boutique, you can see on here there is a map where this is before TikTok. We were averaging a gross sale of $1,700 monthly. That is barely enough to make our rent. So, and the reason why I say this is important is because at the time when I became accredited, we weren't really looking into getting the accreditation because we couldn't really afford it. It was something that was not really there, but I thought it would be important to invest in my business so I can also put that trust back into my customer bases. So I became accredited in June, and I talked to Victoria, and it was a really nice experience. You can see here in our map, we weren't really shipping out a lot of orders. It was just mainly a little bit of Texas, a little bit of Arizona, and a little bit of Colorado, and then mainly just local. And that's where kind of like our average girl sales were from. So next slide. So in this video that I posted on TikTok, you can see in the very top part of the video, I have my accreditation seal with the Better Business Bureau. And this kind of helped me a lot because it allowed my customers. So at one point when I was doing, when I had reached TikTok, or like the little peak of TikTok, and we can go ahead and play the video. So when I was reaching the peak of TikTok, there was a lot of, we normally take a long time for shipping on our orders. So that kind of gave a little distress on my customers. So I came up with the idea of putting my little seal on the very background. That way my customers have a little bit more of peace of mind. They know that we are an accredited business. They know they can trust us. Yes, our products take a little bit of time with shipping, but you know, it gave my customers a little bit more peace of mind. And this is just me packing an order, and it was just a normal order and just showcasing what I do, you know, for my customers. This is how your order is done. This is how your order is being made. And I think that's why TikTok is such a great platform for all of our small businesses to showcase what they're doing, whether it's dancing, whatever it is. Honestly, if you're doing something that's handmade, if you're, I mean, honestly, the possibilities are endless. And I think TikTok is an amazing platform for that, because you get to interact with the customer gets to interact with you on a one-on-one basis. As Victoria said earlier, they want to know who's packing the order, who's making, who's shipping, how their product is made, how you're doing it. They want to interact with you as much as they can. So we want to go into the next slide. This is a more updated map after TikTok, and it kind of shows here the potential that you can have if you put yourself out there with TikTok. So this map just illustrates what happened to Julianne's Fashion Boutique. Not only did we grow as a business, we got more people, you know, we got a Julianne team now. This map also shows all of the states that we have shipped to, and we have officially made it to all 50 states. All of our Julianne Faja Colombianas have made it all over the US. And we're also expanding to international shipping. That has also allowed, because you do have such a huge, I guess, like you have access to 800 million people. All those 800 million people also want your product. So that opens up the ability for you to do international shipping, which we are working on as we speak. So this map shows that we sell to Texas. I think Nevada is our #1 state, followed by Texas and California, followed by Hawaii and New York. Those are our top places that we sell to. And this is more of an update. And not only that, our gross income went skyrocketed, completely different from barely being able to afford rent to $71,000 monthly on our gross sales. Our sales are crazy. And that's where the Julianne team came about, because at the beginning when I started TikTok, it was only me. It was only me showing everything, my products, me packing the orders. Now I've had the ability to bring on a Julianne team, and this is pretty, these are my girls. So TikTok has definitely changed our lives. I know it has changed everyone's life around me as well. So the potential is endless. And not only that, having the ability to show your accreditation, it also gives my customers a peace of mind. They know that it's a business that they want to spend their money on, or it's a product they want to spend their money on, because we have that accreditation. And it's that, it goes back to being that initial investment that I made back in June. At the time I couldn't afford it, but I needed to give my customers that peace of mind, to where, you know, they can trust me, they can trust my business, and we're going to do the right thing. Next slide. All right. So we're going to open it up to questions. I believe there was a few questions already on there.
All right, yes. So the first question is, how many videos do you post each week?
So with TikTok, I try to post at least, so you want to keep the engagement going. So you can definitely set yourself a schedule on, during the week, whether you want to do, you can do videos, you can do as many videos as you want every single day. It really doesn't really matter. You don't have like a set, like a boss or anything. No, it's totally up to you. It gives you the freedom to do whatever you want. For me personally, I try to stick to posting a video a day, Monday to Friday type of thing, or it could be like, on a Sunday or whatnot, but I try to stick to 5 videos during the week. That way we keep the engagement going with TikTok and also with my customers. So they know what's going on, even behind the scenes, like, okay, well, she hasn't posted a video. What's going on? What's going on at the shop? Like, people want to know what you're doing. Where is the product? Is there any new stuff? Is there any latest stuff? Any information that they want to have?
And what kinds of videos do you make?
So I showcase personally my fajas colombianas, which is our top selling item. We do have videos where I showcase new arrivals for my boutique, whether it's clothing, something different, dresses, doesn't really matter, but we try to stick to our fajas colombianas, which is our best seller.
Besides being able to add team members, how has it caused your business to grow?
It has allowed us to think outside the box, explore different avenues that at first seemed so unreachable, that now it's there, and we're hitting those marks where we're exploring new things like international shipping. For the longest time, I said I wouldn't do international shipping. It's just something I'm not gonna deal with. It's something that I'm not ready for, and now international shipping is here. So payroll, for the longest time, I was one of those persons also. I'm not gonna have no one. I'm not gonna have anybody on payroll. Now we have a payroll company. So it's been very, very, it has allowed us, or it has impacted us to reach avenues that at some point seemed super, super far.
Has it led to any other business opportunities?
Yes, it has. So because of the growth on TikTok, we've also gotten several other businesses. I want to say four businesses. It has allowed me to open 4 additional businesses, a little bit different, but kind of attached to what Julianne's Fashion Boutique is, but it all kind of ties back to having that opportunity from TikTok and growing on TikTok.
So do you get a lot of negative comments?
I do. Yes and no. So the negative comments will always be there, and I think it's just the way that you take in, how you come back as a business owner. So at the beginning, as I mentioned earlier, we were getting negative comments to where people wanted to attack us. Oh, they take a long time for shipping. It might be a scam. It may not. But my comeback was, okay, well, we're an accredited business. So you can trust us. We are, integrity is the core of who we are. So we are a legit business. This is who we are. So yes, we do get negative comments. I try to focus mostly on taking all the good. Yeah, we address comments when it's a negative comment, we address it in a good way. But for the most part, we have really, really good following. We have a really, really good comments, but every now and then we will get negative comments.
So do you have any advice for business owners?
I do. If you're a small business, whether it's doing something so simple, even if you think it's something simple, put yourself on there, get yourself on TikTok. You never know when you're gonna blow up, even if it's something that's handmade, whether you're teaching people how to work out, whether you're cooking, if it's photography, whatever it is, honestly, be yourself, and have that faith in yourself. Put yourself out there, because you just never know.
What if someone says this just isn't for me, for my business?
I would say you have to get yourself out of that thinking, because it depends on what you want for your business. If you want your business to grow and thrive, you have to be out of your comfort zone and you have to put yourself out there.
So what made you decide to get on TikTok? Were you already using TikTok before, or?
No, I was not. So my son, I was a firm believer that I was not going to download TikTok. I was not gonna allow my kids to have that time, you know, to spend on TikTok. And my son was the one that recommended for me to get on TikTok because he would see me in the morning putting on my faja. And he's like, you know what, Mom, what if your customers don't know how to put on a faja? So that's when the idea came, and he's like, I think you should make a video showcasing how you put it on, because not a lot of people know. And at first I was like, I don't think so, but I thought about it overnight and I said, you know what, that's completely true. There's a lot of people that don't know. And, you know, when it comes to shapewear, the first impression for people is, oh, this didn't fit me. Well, that's not necessarily the case. Maybe you're not putting it on correctly and you just need someone to show how shape, especially with shapewear, because we all know that avenue of shapewear with women. So it was something that was definitely, I thought about it overnight and I said, you know what, that's completely true. And my son was the one that helped me do my first video on TikTok, because I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know what the controls were or how to manage it, how to do it. It was just it was something that I had never done before. And it was myself getting out of that comfort zone, to where, you know, it led us to this now.
All right. So was it worth it?
Yes, it was definitely worth it. So if you are a small business and you've been thinking about it, don't think about it, get out of the comfort zone.
Okay, we have a question. It's what % of your business comes through your website?
I think, well, it used to be very different before. It was just, you know, word of mouth type of thing that used to be through our website. And now we are at 95% revenue coming in through our website is through TikTok, and that other percent is locally. Also, another thing that I did want to mention with TikTok, and the reason why I say that it has changed a little bit. So it used to be where 90% of the traffic was through TikTok and through our website. So because we are local to the Albuquerque area, what we have been doing in my recent videos is hashtagging my local area. So we will use the hashtags 505, New Mexico Live, NM Live, Albuquerque. And ever since I started doing that, I want to say it skyrocketed to now about 25% of our traffic also comes in through the local area. So you have the ability to reach pretty much everyone else, and then you have the ability to also reach your local area. And that, just by doing those small little changes, we have gotten in a lot of traffic locally. So people are actually walking in through my store looking for that specific item that they saw on TikTok, if that makes some sort of sense. So yeah, most of it has been through TikTok, but making little changes like that, you can reach your local area.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
Just be yourself.
All
Just
right.
be yourself.
Are there any other questions from the audience? All right, well, thank you so much for everyone for joining us today. Thank you to Kimberly. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me later, bcarion@bbbsw.org. Thank you for joining us and look forward to seeing you next month.
Yes, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be on this webinar. And if you have any questions, say.
And make sure to check her out on TikTok and online at Julianne's Fashion Boutique.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.